Architecture is a design consultancy. What we do is develop new bespoke textures, primarily for the automotive industry, but for also other industries as well. We're essentially enablers. What we do is enable our clients to develop new bespoke textures for their particular design DNA, their brand history, etc. We have 3 different studios, one in Manchester in the UK, one in Fraser, Michigan near Detroit, and one in Suzhou, which is an hour from Shanghai in China. Texturing is inherently, historically, there to hide moulding problems, essentially. Textures were developed as a way of improving and adding value to the perceived quality of those components. So what we are trying to do is not only design specifically for our customers something bespoke, but we're also trying to expand and open up the perception of possibilities. What is the art of the possible in the engraving industry? We work through a phased process with design. So phase 1 is usually blue sky, kind of just an open investigation of the possibility based on the customer's brief. We then submit that to the customer. They understand it, they explore it. Then they come back to us, they make a decision, they choose 3, 4, 5 of the kind of aesthetics that they like. We then hone that down in phase 2. So we're looking at this point about defining the detail, changing the scale, changing some elements within it, changing the depth, etc., etc. And that's a very iterative process. It's very come and go, come and go. What it allows is for the customer, whether they're designers, engineers, procurement managers, whatever, to have one partner to hold their hand through the whole process. And when you consider the automotive industry in particular is global, we have to, as a business, be able to produce the same quality in many, many different places, so that when those components come together in the assembly of the car, everything is uniform, everything is managed as well as possible relative to providing the optimized quality. We are one partner. We are the one partner solution. We can take you all the way through design, verification, into production, and we can achieve that production on a global scale, not just injection molding tools, but nickel shells for soft trim and various other technologies that we're developing and have developed essentially to make the customer's experience of the process as seamless and as easy as possible. What's going on today is that we want to explain and show you the essence of the DVP process and how architecture initializes that series of events. Thinking about and looking for a surface, we needed a surface that represented the kind of automotive volume of an instrument panel, say. But we're not instrument panel designers. So we were looking for something that had similar scale, similar volume, but possibly an elevated curvature. Again, what was interesting was we wanted a surface only. So we started looking at various kind of inspirations. The manta, interestingly enough, is an animal that is used in a similar way to the cow on occasion as a luxury wrapping material. The movement was really rather majestic. So all these things kind of came together in a mix, and that's what we came up with, the manta. You know, it would have been absurd if we made a cow.
The texture options for the manta fall into several categories. One is the morphic texture, the other is the parametric texture. These are very complicated textures, but with the manta we're able to take these textures and bring them to life.
Parametric means that the textures are flowing, they're moving on the surface, they're sympathetic to the surface. They have a dynamism that hopefully elevates the whole interior kind of colour materials concept by inferring the fact that these have been very, very well thought through pieces of design. But the amorphic is incredibly important because in conversations with many, many designers, existing in the zeitgeist, as previously said, is this desire for these non-leather, but functional leather-like aesthetics moving forward into the future.
When we have a final decision of every design, we didn't send to the customer as a digital format. Some of the people, they like to just look at like a CAD file or just like a digital image, but we never do this because we want the customer can feel the haptic. We can let them to touch the feel, to feel the 3D, because you can't do this on the 2D image, which means JPEG. We never do this. We want to provide the 3D, which means they can feel, they can touch, they can engage what we are talking about.
We have rapid texture prototype technology, which uses ultra-high resolution 3D printing to turn what you see on the screen into a physical reality. We call it RTP for short. The RTP allows us to quickly review what we've designed, to see if it meets our expectations, whether we feel it will meet the customer's expectations. If we don't believe it does, then we redesign, reprint until we're happy with the result. This creates a fast and convenient process for the customer. It cuts lead times and allows us the creative freedom to explore many different possibilities from the design perspective.